And welcome into Extra Time, a weekly video podcast with Fox 4 and FC Naples, where we take you behind the scenes every week for the first season of professional soccer here in Southwest Florida. I'm Ryan Kruger, and it is the Snowbird Derby against Westchester SC. So let's dive right in with the gaffer, Matt Poland. We had a nice little break, but throwing you right back into the fire. So 2 matches this week. So you excited to be back? You excited for this big week?
Yeah, obviously it was nice. The guys enjoyed having a little bit of time off to refresh mentally and physically. But they're definitely, you go too long without a game and you get excited to get back out on the pitch. 2 games back to back, which is a quick turnaround with the Wednesday being an away game and Saturday being home. So it's kind of, you get the break ahead of time, which is nice. But now it's, yeah, as you said, quick turnaround between the games.
Meanwhile, the match on Saturday, that's Westchester SC. Of course, that's Westchester, New York. The announcers in the last game called it the Snowbird Derby, which I thought was a pretty good name for it. That was a tough match. I mean, you guys came back and won that one, especially with that incredible goal from Carson. So what are you looking for in this match then?
Yeah, if you look at the game in its totality, we were always kind of in control of the game. It was an unfortunate goal to go down, yet we responded really well to it to get a goal and then obviously get the winner late. I think it's continued to build on how the first game went. Can we continue to have control of the game? But this time, can we not just have control, but also have the scoreline reflect that? They're good. They're very good offensively. They have so many talented players. They can score from so many different unique ways, and multiple players in their attack can hurt you if you're not organized and disciplined. So it's really, especially with a short break between the 2 games, making sure you're coming out focused, coming out ready. Their game this weekend's a perfect example. They had the ability, had they finished the chances they created, they could have been up 3-0 in the first 18 minutes this past game. So they're lightning and explosive in the attack, and you have to really come out ready and not get caught, allowing goals too quickly before you can then have time to stop it.
It sounds like it's a good, style meets fights or style makes fights type of situation. Whereas they're a big attacking, you guys are attacking, especially on your defense as well. So it really should create a pretty interesting matchup.
Yeah, yeah, and I think they, with the way they play, the game can be open early in the game, or usually maybe games are a little more closed because of the emphasis on defending as units from other teams. With them, because they prioritize so much of their attack, it kind of opens the field up, so you get more transitional moments potentially earlier in the game. So it's usually for fan involvement or watching, it can be pretty enjoyable to watch for sure.
Let's talk about the fact that you are coming off of this break. Different sports, it's different, right? Like I know in baseball, those guys want to be out every single day, especially if they're hot, want to work on that swing. Golf's kind of the same way. With soccer, though, is it good to have a week off? That way you can rest your legs, rest your body, or is it better to just kind of every week you're sticking to the routine?
And answer the question, yes. And truly, I believe that. I think in the shorter term, anytime you take a break has the potential of knocking you out of flow and rhythm. But then longer term, having breaks are necessary. You have to find times and moments to get away. This being an athlete can be so consuming. You're always thinking of the next game. You're thinking about the training. You're thinking about, am I going to start? Am I going to play? You're thinking about how the team did last game. You're thinking about how the team's going to do the next game. It just sits in your mind constantly, let alone the travel and playing every week for 7 months straight, and what that does to your body. So it can be a challenge short term to have the break, but I think long term, as we're building for the last 10 games of the regular season, it's a really positive time to kind of let the guys get some of that reset and then get back on the field and play, especially the way we play. We're at our best when we outwork the other team. That's kind of to me, one of our biggest takeaways is if we don't outwork the other team, it's going to be probably nearly impossible for us to get a result. That's one of our non-negotiables to have success, is that level of work and output. And when you play that way week in and week out, it's important to maximize your rest as well, so that you can be fresh to defend with the level of intensity that we've been doing so far.
So 10 regular season matches left. You're in a good spot in the standings table. If the playoffs end, or if the playoffs start today, you guys will be in there. So what are you looking for then for these next 10 matches?
Yeah, it's really just refinement. You know, nothing is probably going to change massively. I think who we are, our identity, our players is kind of set. And so now it's really just the refinement of that identity and continuing to layer improvements, both tactically and technically, as individuals and as lines and as entire 11v11 teams. We just need to keep making those little improvements to continue, to refine ourselves as we near the end of the regular season.
Join us every week on Extra Time.